Let's bring in one of the candidates vying to do just that, to remove a Biden presidency and restore America to greatness. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor, good to have you. So do you think, now there have been 70-plus attacks on U.S. installations in the Middle East by Iranian or Houthis or Iranian supported, let's call it that. Would you as president preemptively attack Iran?
Well, I don't know about that, but I think what happens is if you have troops in harm's way and somebody takes a pot shot at them, you've got to respond with sufficient force so that you're deterring that from happening in the future. And I think what Biden's doing is he's basically going through the motions. He's inviting more attacks on our troops. A lot of these troops, I'm not even sure what their core mission is. So you have to act in ways that are going to deter rather than invite attacks against your troops. Biden's failing our troops, and he's failing the country.
Say ways. Sanctions don't seem to work with these people. So ways, what would President DeSantis' ways of response be?
Well, certainly, I think that you can actually do, Biden won't even do the sanctions. I mean, he could turn the screws that will stop some of this oil money from going there. That'll make it harder for them to fund operations and terrorism. So he should definitely do that. But my policy would be very simple. If you harm the hair on a head of an American service member, we are going to respond, and you're going to have hell to pay.
So I've put this out there, and people yell at me for doing it, but why not level the Iranian oil fields? You don't kill any people or very few people, and you limit their ability to fund terrorism.
So I would, I would look at all options. I'm mindful about overextending the U.S. I clearly wouldn't want to invite another lengthy conflict in the Middle East. At the same time, we have to stand up for our troops. And you look at different targets, and you look at the pluses and minuses. And can you accomplish the mission? What are the risks? And then you either pull the trigger or you don't. But clearly, what Biden is doing is he's empowered the Iranians. They don't worry about Biden at all. They think he's a patsy. So they're going to keep doing this until somebody puts their foot down.
Governor, let's turn to U.S. politics a little bit. You're doing extremely well in Iowa. You're hitting on all cylinders right now. You got a big endorsement, evangelical endorsement recently. I believe you're going to hit your 99th, the 99th out of 99 counties on Saturday, polling very well. Nikki Haley is also, I don't know, for some reason, Fox has anointed her as their next one. I think you were the first one out of the box, and they seem to move the program to Nikki Haley. You and Haley are sniping at each other. I want to focus on one thing. Chris Christie gave you a little bit of credit. I don't know if you saw this, but Chris Christie gave you credit recently on NBC or ABC, maybe it was CNN, I'm sorry. And he said that you're specific about your abortion policy. Nikki Haley has flip-flopped to pander to the people of Iowa. What do you see is the proper abortion policy, and is Nikki Haley pandering to the people of Iowa for votes?
Yeah, I think she's been all over the map. I think she's trying to signal different policies to different people. But I think this is part of a larger pattern with her, where she's really tried to ingratiate herself with the political and economic establishments. And those establishments have failed this country. Candidates that are establishment candidates will not win elections in this country nationally because of the failures of the policy. So, for example, she has said that there should be no limits on immigration. It should be determined by corporations and CEOs. I don't agree with that at all. I think immigration should be about what's best for Americans and American workers. She also had a proposal for social media censorship, where she said day one of her presidency, she wants everyone to have to give their name to get on social media. Well, Eric, you've covered the censorship of conservatives, how people have been singled out, cancel culture. People have had their lives ruined because of this type of stuff. So that was her policy on day one that she's done. And then when we stood up in Florida to fight for the well-being of our kids in school and not have sexualized curriculum and transgenderism injected into elementary school, we had to take on the biggest company in Florida, Disney. And I did that because I had to stand up for the kids and parents. It was the right thing to do. Nikki Haley sided with Disney. So she tends to side with the large corporations, and she tends to side with the establishment interests. Ultimately, she can try to obfuscate, but as voters see that, that is not going to be good for her with Republican voters.
I'll take it one step further. Nikki Haley won't come back on the show. She'd been on several times because I did call her out for that censorship of requiring social media to make people state your name and where you're from in order to post. It's a censorship of the First Amendment. It's not free speech anymore. She won't come back on. We invited her on, but she's mad. So I also point out the Koch brothers yesterday, I believe, yesterday or this morning, endorsed Nikki Haley. What are your thoughts of that?
Well, look, I think that their network has taken certain positions that are conservative, some that are not. I mean, for example, they are not someone that wants to control immigration. I think they've supported open borders. So Nikki is somebody that is very weak on immigration. She is not going to get that border secure. She would, of course, not build a wall, and she will not deport illegals who are here. And so I think that gives her some synergy with that group. I think the other thing is they've been very supportive of reducing criminal sentences and releasing people from prison. I think that's bad policy. I think that has failed in places like California. I think we've got to be tough on crime. We need to get these criminals off the streets. But I think they see in someone like Nikki somebody that's going to be more aligned with establishment interests. And all I can say is we have got to go into Washington and make big changes. You don't want to go into Washington and just continue business as usual. We've seen business as usual for how many years now? We need big change, and we need to return this government to its rightful owners, which is we, the people.
Governor, let's play the soundbite from last week when we did a town hall in Iowa, and you said, hey, Trump, let's do a debate. Let's take a listen. So remind the folks.
We need to have debates. Whether the RNC should be the ones that are controlling that, I don't know that that's necessarily the right way. That's how it's gone. Maybe as we get forward, maybe there'll be more freewheeling debates. I mean, I'd love to do a debate on Newsmax. We get the former president and me. Let's just have at it for an hour. I think we would do it on your.
Hold on, I'm getting a note in my ear right now. Your bucks. Okay, we got to get.
We'll do it on your show. We'll make it happen.
Well, I have on good advice that's probably not going to happen because former President Trump doesn't want to do debates. Your thoughts on that and the upcoming debate? Have the debates, the GOP debates, lost the oomph that they used to provide?
Well, look, I mean, I think to the extent that the RNC is running this, they should give Newsmax a debate. I mean, you guys have covered a lot of important issues for Republicans. A lot of Republicans are watching your show, Eric, and I think that regardless of whether Donald Trump would participate, Newsmax should be given a debate. So you have my support on doing that. I think it's important. Look, I think Donald Trump should debate. I mean, we're in a situation where the country is at a crossroads here. We've got to put our best foot forward. We need people to be able to kick the tires on all the candidates and make sure that they're able to do what we need to do. I mean, we know, look, the Democrats are laying low right now. As soon as if Trump were to be the nominee, they are going to unload a can of everything the corporate media is going to start doing. We know all that. So he needs to be able to explain how he's going to be able to navigate that to be able to be successful. I can be successful because I can show you my track record in Florida of getting the job done. But I'm all for the debates. I want to come on Newsmax. Let's get Donald Trump or not. You guys should be doing a debate for the Republicans.
Well, we're certainly on board. Sir, very quickly, you're doing very well. 47 or 48 days till Iowa. Final thoughts on that?
Run it all the way through the tape. We've got a great organization. We're endorsed by Governor Reynolds, a fantastic governor. We just got endorsed by Bob Vanderplaats, biggest evangelical leader. 41 legislators have endorsed us. We've created an unprecedented support network, and we're just going to work our tail off and bring it in for a landing on caucus night. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
All right, Governor, really good having you on. Governor Ron DeSantis, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, folks.